Hey folks, Jeff Susich here from Waikato Consulting. I'm going to make a little video today about Flow key updates. We've had some updates in Flow in the Winter 24 release and prior to that are really important, and people really need to start using these. And two of those that we're going to talk about today are these. First one, reactive components. Allows the screen components on a screen flow to interact without the user having to run the flow to see the results. This can dramatically cut down on the number of screens you use. You can collect information from the user, and in that screen, you can do calculations. They don't have to hit next and go to another screen to do your calculations. And the other one is custom error interactions have been introduced. This is like cross-object validation rules with no apex needed. Because think about validation rules for a second. When you create a validation rule, it's created against a specific object, accounts, opportunities, whatever it is. If you need a more complex validation rule that has to look at two or more objects, you're writing Apex code. And so we can do this now with custom error interaction. Okay, but let's talk for a second just about where Flow has been here with Salesforce. It's a fascinating story, I think. If you look at the history of Flow, they bought this in 2009. It was called Visual Process Manager, and it cost $50 per user per month. And it seems like over time, Flow has had three distinct phases within Salesforce. This was the first phase. So they bought this thing, and Salesforce said, but what do we do with this? But it's pretty cool. That was kind of the first phase. Then, for almost 9 years, nothing much really changed with it. And software companies, when they make acquisitions like that and they don't do anything with an acquisition, you can pretty much assume they're going to get rid of it. And that's what we thought for a number of years. The attitude at Salesforce seemed to be, Flow will be executed at sunrise. And then spring 19 hit. This is the third phase, the birth of Flow. No Flash player, new interface, new design, new everything. And then Salesforce seemed to think, Workflow and Process Builder will be executed at sunrise, and Flow promoted to Field Marshal. So that's kind of the history here. So we're going to first talk about these reactive components. So these allow your screen components to interact. You can cut down on the number of nexts that you have in your screen flows and the number of screens. That's what it can do. Formulas can change in real time. As the user is putting information in there, it can calculate. And the components can react to choices, pick lists, radio buttons. They can make choices on there on the same screen, and it can react to that. What's coming down the road is long text area, record choice sets, text templates, record fields. There's more coming down the road. So let's look at a flow that is going to calculate this. We're going to use the opportunity object, and we're going to have the user use a slider to give a discount percentage. It's going to show the amount on the opportunity, and then it's going to show the discounted amount that will depend on where they put the slider. And then it's going to calculate the amount after discount that they pick. So let's look at the flow. All right, so here's our reactive components flow here. It's a simple flow. It's a screen flow. We have a get records. What we're going to do is we're going to go get all of the opportunities, open opportunities of the running user. Is closed equals false, owner ID equals $user ID. And we're going to get all the records, and we're going to automatically store all the fields. Okay, so we do that. Then what we're going to do here is we've got a screen we're going to put on here. We use a data table here, the amazing data table, to display those. And then what we've got in the flow here, we've got a slider. I've got that for range maximum of 50, so they can offer a 50% discount, the maximum. This will be the amount of the opportunity for reference, takes right off the opportunity. Here's the discounted amount that is going to depend on where they put the slider. And here's the amount after discount calculated. Now the thing about these reactive components where you're doing this is in the default value. Notice the default value for this, amount after discount. And notice the default value for discounted amount. Formula amount of discount. It's a formula that was created in here. That's the key here, is you're using the default value of these components. So let's have a look and see what this thing looks like. When I run this thing, go ahead and run it, and I take a look at, there's the opportunities. I pick one. I'll pick this one. Then I'll come down here. Notice that the opportunity amount is 120,000. If I move down the screen here, it grabbed the amount and displayed it here. And here's where I can set the slider, and you're going to see the discounted amount change and the amount after discount change. The user does not have to enter numbers in here, go next, and go to another screen. The components are reacting with each other. Very, very handy kind of a thing. So that's reactive components. All right, now we're going to look at our second key update, custom error elements, new in Winter 24. We can accomplish cross-object validation without Apex. That is fairly magical. Now, it's only available for record-triggered flows. This allows you to display a customizable error message. And you can display 1 or 2 or 3 or how many you want error messages on that. This really personalizes error messages. And so let's take a look at this and see what this looks like in a flow. All right, so here's our flow. We're going to look at the custom error elements. So this is a record-triggered flow on the opportunity object. We have the trigger for a record is updated, and it's an after save, actions and related records. So the first thing we do is we get all of the opportunity contact roles, if there are any, on the opportunity. We go get them all, and we put them into automatic storage. Then we make a decision. Are there any contact roles in that thing? Is it null or not? Is it empty or not? And then if it is empty, there are no contact roles on there, we show a custom error. This is what we play for them. And so you can choose to show it in a window on a record page, which is what we're going to do, or an inline error on the field. I'm doing it more generically here because I want to show it as the regular kind of error they're used to seeing in Lightning. And then we can customize our error message here. We can even add multiple error messages. Okay? So let's see what this looks like. I'll go to an opportunity here, and this is scheduled to trigger when the opportunity stage goes to proposal price quote. And if there are no contact roles on there, throw the error. So here's our contact roles here, nothing there. I changed the stage from needs analysis to proposal price quote, and I save it. And there's the error. Looks just like the standard error, doesn't it? Review the errors on this page. I even put their name in there. Hi, first name. You must add a contact role. You can personalize these things. It's great. So here's the marketing message. I have live hands-on flow classes that I've been doing for almost 3 years. Flow Academy course for those with little to no experience with flow that are having trouble using it effectively. This is a 2-day, 5-hour-a-day, hands-on live course. We are working in a fresh developer org, and we create a lot of flows. We break down flow so you understand the structure of flow, and we do a lot of flows. Then there's the Flow Advanced Academy. That's for those with flow experience but want to go deeper and wider. We do every kind of flow in that class, including a platform event-triggered flow. We integrate to an external database and do that. So you can find these classes on my website right there and register for those if you wish. Thank you for watching this, and we'll see you out there in Salesforce land.